Welcome to our deep dive into the future of leadership. You sent over some fascinating predictions about AI and its impact on leaders by the year 2030. We're talking autonomous systems, emotional AI, even a taste of quantum computing. I'm excited to unpack this with you and see what leadership might look like a mere decade from now.
It's really intriguing to see how these sources go beyond just the tech trends.
Yeah.
They really delve into the human skills leaders will need to navigate this new world.
Right.
It's not just about the algorithms, you know? It's about cultural intelligence, adaptability, ethical decision-making, all these very human elements.
Absolutely. Okay, let's start with the AI trends themselves.
Mhm.
One that pops up repeatedly is autonomous systems. We're talking about AI managing things like supply chains and transportation, think self-driving trucks or AI-powered factory floors. What kind of impact do you think this level of automation will have on leaders?
Well, one immediate challenge I see is this shift in human-machine collaboration.
Right.
Leaders will need to figure out how to manage teams where humans and AI are working side by side. It's not just about training people to use new software. It's about rethinking workflows, responsibilities, even the very definition of a team.
That's a really good point. It's almost like needing to design a whole new organizational structure from the ground up.
Exactly. And it's not just about the day-to-day operations either. There are bigger questions about oversight and accountability. If an autonomous system makes a mistake, who's responsible? How do leaders ensure that these systems are operating safely and ethically? These are the kinds of dilemmas that will require a whole new way of thinking about leadership.
It's a bit daunting when you put it that way. Okay, let's move on to something that feels even more futuristic, quantum computing. I'll admit this one is a bit of a head-scratcher for me. Can you break down what it is and why leaders should even care about it?
Sure. In the simplest terms, quantum computing uses the principles of quantum mechanics to process information in a radically different way than traditional computers. What's fascinating is that this allows for computations that are simply impossible with today's technology.
Wow.
We're talking about potentially solving problems that would take classical computers millions of years in a matter of days or even hours.
Okay, I'm starting to see why this is a big deal. But what did that kind of computational power actually mean for, say, a CEO of a Fortune 500 company?
Imagine you're leading a pharmaceutical company. With quantum computing, you could potentially simulate molecular interactions with incredible accuracy, leading to the discovery of new drugs and treatments at an unprecedented pace. Or, if you're in finance, you could develop algorithms that optimize investments with a level of sophistication that's simply unattainable today.
Wow, that's pretty mind-blowing. But with that much power comes a lot of responsibility, right?
Absolutely. Leaders will need to think carefully about how to access and utilize this technology responsibly. How do you ensure equitable access to quantum computing resources? How do you prevent its misuse for malicious purposes? These are questions that will require foresight and ethical leadership on a global scale.
It sounds like we're not just talking about upgrading our software anymore. We're talking about preparing for a whole new era of technological advancement. Okay, one last trend I want to touch on before we move on is emotional AI. I have to admit, the idea of AI understanding and responding to human emotions is both intriguing and a little unnerving. What potential applications do you see for this technology?
The possibilities are vast, but let's focus on one area where it could be truly transformative: the workplace.
Okay.
Imagine using emotional AI to gauge employee morale and well-being. Leaders could get real-time feedback on how their teams are feeling, identify potential burnout risks, and proactively address issues before they escalate.
That could be a game changer for building a positive and supportive work environment. But it also raises questions about privacy and potentially even manipulation, right? How do you ensure that this technology is used ethically and with the best interests of employees in mind?
You've hit on a critical point. Leaders will need to establish clear guidelines for the use of emotional AI. It's about transparency, consent, and ensuring that employees feel empowered, not surveilled.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about using it thoughtfully and ethically. It seems like that's going to be a recurring theme as we navigate this AI-driven future.
Absolutely. It's like we're entering a new era where leadership isn't just about managing people and resources, but also about navigating the ethical implications of increasingly powerful technologies.
Okay, so we've covered some of the major AI trends on the horizon, but what does all this mean for leaders right now? What skills do they need to start developing today to be prepared for this future?
That's the key question, isn't it? These sources point to a fascinating mix of both traditional and emerging leadership skills.
Yeah.
For instance, technical acumen is no longer optional. Leaders don't need to become programmers, but they do need a fundamental understanding of AI, its capabilities, and its limitations.
So it's like needing to understand the basics of how a car works, even if you don't know how to rebuild an engine.
It's exactly.
You need enough knowledge to be a good driver.
Exactly. And this goes beyond just knowing how to use AI tools. It's about understanding the underlying principles of AI, its potential biases, and the ethical considerations that come with its use.
Speaking of driving, the road ahead is likely to be full of twists and turns. That's where I imagine adaptability comes in.
Right.
These sources emphasize the importance of being able to pivot quickly and embrace continuous learning. How can leaders foster this kind of agility within their teams?
It starts with cultivating a growth mindset within the organization. Encourage your teams to be curious, to experiment, and to view failure as a learning opportunity.
It's about creating a culture where it's okay to try new things, even if they don't always work out perfectly.
Precisely. And it's about leading by example. Leaders need to demonstrate a willingness to learn and adapt themselves. They need to be comfortable with not having all the answers and be open to feedback from their teams.
So it's not just about having a vision for the future, it's also about being flexible enough to adjust that vision as the landscape changes.
Exactly. And in this rapidly evolving world of AI, that flexibility is going to be crucial.
Okay, we've talked about technical acumen and adaptability. What other skills stand out as being essential for leaders in the age of AI?
One that's often overlooked is cultural intelligence.
Yeah.
As AI becomes more integrated into our lives, we need leaders who can understand and navigate diverse perspectives and values. This is especially important given that AI development is happening on a global scale.
So it's about being aware of cultural differences and ensuring that AI is developed and used in a way that is inclusive and respectful of those differences.
Precisely. Leaders need to be able to build bridges across cultures, foster collaboration, and ensure that AI benefits all of humanity, not just a select few.
It sounds like leading in the age of AI is about much more than just understanding the technology itself. It's about having a deep understanding of the human impact of this technology and being able to lead with both intelligence and empathy.
You've hit the nail on the head. It's about recognizing that AI is not just a tool, but a force that has the potential to reshape our society in profound ways. Leaders need to be prepared to navigate this complexity with wisdom and foresight.
All of this is incredibly thought-provoking, but I'm sure our listeners are wondering how all of this actually plays out in the real world. Do these sources provide any concrete examples of what successful AI leadership looks like in action?
Absolutely. They highlight several scenarios that illustrate how leaders are already using AI to drive positive change. For instance, one example focuses on a manufacturing company that has successfully integrated autonomous systems into its operations. They've done this not by replacing human workers, but by upskilling them to work alongside these advanced robots.
So it's about empowering employees, not making them obsolete.
Exactly. The leadership team understood that the key to successful AI implementation was to invest in their people, providing them with the training and support they needed to thrive in this new environment.
That's a really encouraging example. It shows that AI doesn't have to lead to job displacement, but can actually create new opportunities for growth and development.
Another inspiring example involves a tech firm that's committed to developing and deploying AI ethically.
Right.
They've implemented something called explainable AI, which means that their AI systems are designed to be transparent so that users can understand how decisions are being made.
That sounds crucial, especially as AI becomes more integrated into sensitive areas like healthcare or finance. Transparency builds trust and accountability.
Exactly. And this company isn't just talking about ethical AI, they're actually putting it into practice, which is incredibly important.
Okay, so we have one example of a company using AI to empower its workforce, and another example of a company prioritizing ethical AI implementation. Any other examples that stand out?
Yes, one more that I think is particularly relevant to our discussion today. It's the case of a retail brand that's using AI to build a more sustainable supply chain. They're leveraging AI to optimize everything from sourcing to logistics, reducing waste and emissions along the way.
That's fantastic. It shows how AI can be used not just for profit, but for purpose, aligning with values like sustainability and social responsibility.
And what's impressive is that this company isn't just doing this quietly behind the scenes. They're publicly reporting on their progress, setting ambitious goals for the future, and using AI to make a positive impact on the world.
These examples are truly inspiring. They show that AI leadership isn't just some abstract concept, it's something that's happening right now and making a real difference.
And these are just a few examples out of many. There are countless other leaders and organizations out there who are paving the way for a more ethical and sustainable AI-powered future.
It's exciting to see how these leaders are embracing the potential of AI while also being mindful of its challenges.
Absolutely. They're demonstrating that AI leadership is not about simply adopting the latest technology. It's about using that technology to create a better future for all.
Okay, so we've explored some compelling examples of AI leadership in action, but I imagine our listeners are eager to know what they can do personally to prepare for this AI-driven future. What practical steps can they take starting today?
That's a great question, and it's one that these sources address directly. They offer some concrete advice that leaders can start implementing right now to get ready for the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead.
That's a great question, and it's one that I know I'm wondering about myself.
Yeah.
What practical advice do these sources have for leaders who are, you know, trying to get ready for all of this?
Well, first and foremost, lifelong learning is absolutely essential. Leaders need to stay informed about the latest developments in AI, its capabilities, limitations, and its ethical implications.
So it's like being a student of AI even if you're not a data scientist.
Exactly. You don't need to become an expert in the technical details, but you do need to have a solid understanding of the fundamentals and how AI is likely to impact your industry.
Okay, so what are some effective ways for leaders to stay on top of all these AI advancements?
There are many great resources available. You can subscribe to industry newsletters, attend conferences, or enroll in online courses.
Right.
There are also numerous books and podcasts that offer insightful perspectives on the evolving world of AI.
Yeah, it sounds like there's no shortage of ways to learn.
No.
It's just a matter of prioritizing it.
Exactly. And it's not just about individual learning.
Right.
Leaders also need to foster a culture of learning within their organizations. Encourage your teams to explore AI, attend workshops, share their knowledge, and experiment with new tools and applications.
So it's about creating an environment where curiosity and continuous learning are valued.
Precisely. This will help your team stay ahead of the curve and adapt to the rapid pace of change in the AI landscape.
Okay, so lifelong learning is key. What else can leaders do?
Another crucial step is to start thinking now about how to build ethical frameworks for AI development and use within your organization.
So being proactive about, addressing those ethical implications of AI.
Exactly. It's about establishing clear guidelines for data privacy, algorithmic bias, and responsible decision-making.
Mhm.
You need to think about how you'll ensure that AI is used in a way that aligns with your company's values and doesn't harm your customers or stakeholders.
It sounds like a big change for a lot of companies, though.
It is. It does, but it's a necessary shift. The companies that succeed in the age of AI will be those that prioritize ethics and responsibility from the very beginning.
It's not just about being innovative. It's about being innovative responsibly.
Precisely. And this brings us to another important step: fostering a culture of innovation within your organization. You need to create an environment where people feel empowered to experiment with AI, to take calculated risks, and to learn from their mistakes.
It's almost like a fail fast, learn faster mentality.
Exactly. In the world of AI, things are moving so quickly that perfection is often unattainable. What's more important is to be willing to try new things, to iterate, and to learn from your failures.
That can be tough for leaders, though, sometimes.
Yeah,
Just to be comfortable with that, failure.
that's true. But it's essential to embrace this mindset if you want to unlock the full potential of AI.
Okay, so we have lifelong learning, building ethical frameworks, and fostering innovation. What else? What other advice do they have?
Finally, we can't forget about the importance of collaboration and networking. AI is a global phenomenon, and no one company or individual has all the answers. Leaders need to be proactive in reaching out to experts, industry leaders, and research institutions.
So building a network, working together with people.
Exactly. By working together, we can share knowledge, pool resources, and accelerate the development of responsible and beneficial AI solutions.
So AI leadership is not a solo sport. It's a team effort.
Precisely. AI has the potential to bring us together to solve some of the world's most pressing problems. But to achieve this, we need to collaborate across disciplines, industries, and cultures.
So AI is not just about the technology. It's about people.
That's beautifully put. AI is a mirror reflecting back to us our own values, aspirations, and fears. The way we choose to develop and use this technology will ultimately reveal who we are as a species.
That's a real profound thought. So as we wrap up today, what is the one thing that you really hope our listeners take to heart today?
The most important message I want to leave your listeners with is this. The future of AI is not predetermined. It's a future that we are actively shaping with every decision we make, every action we take. So as you move forward, embrace the possibilities, but don't shy away from the responsibility that comes with them. Use your leadership to guide AI's development and application in a way that benefits all of humanity.
That is such a powerful message. To our listener, thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the future of leadership. We hope you found it insightful and thought-provoking, maybe even a little inspiring. Remember, the future is not something to fear, it's something to shape. And as a leader, you have the power to shape it for the better.
Until next time, stay curious, stay engaged, and stay ahead of the curve.
And keep diving deep. This is Host Name signing off.